celebrating in this strange way is that we just finished the most delightful, hopeful, honest,
funny,
hilarious conversation with our friends and neighbors and two people who have been, well, in the news lately. And their names are Jimmy Kimmel and Molly McNearney. And you all you're going to learn everything in this interview. They talk about the day everything went down with the show cancellation, where they were, how it all felt.
Which we were supposed to be recording this conversation exactly at the time where that day and that time where the news broke. And couldn't, for obvious reasons, but that was wild to hear all about that.
Yeah, I actually that morning got a text from Molly that said, hey, I think everything's going to be fine for this afternoon, but just so you know, things are a little weird. And then several hours later, I got another text that just said, not fine. Things are not fine. And then all the news came out. So this is just a beautiful conversation with two people who we adore and respect and appreciate so much. And I think it's going to help this conversation. I think the way they're getting through has a lot to teach us about how to get through and how to be brave and how to be steady and how to love our people and love our country and love each other through this time. So we give you Jimmy and Molly. Hi.
There they are.
How's it going?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
We're good.
I might cry. Just seeing your faces.
You cry on every podcast.
That's what I do.
No, I already don't feel special.
It's not
Can you
true.
cry hardest today, Molly?
I will definitely cry the hardest here.
Thank
To
you.
see Sissy. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I can't believe it.
It's so good to see you guys. We were just talking before about the day that we were supposed to record this podcast. And I don't know if you remember, Molly, because you had a few other things going on that day, but I got a text from you like late morning. And it was just like, things are getting weird, but I think it's going to be fine. And then I was like, okay. Then several hours later, I got one that just said, not fine. Not fine.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah, that is definitely an understatement. I love that you were in that with us that day.
Oh, me too.
It's crazy. I remember you in the morning connecting with me first. You're like, hey, I'm so excited for tonight. If there's anything you want to talk about or not talk about, let me know. And I'm like, oh, we're great. We'll talk about anything.
Yeah, we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we going to talk about?
And then we had a lot to talk about all of a sudden.
Yes, and then we had helicopters over our home.
You guys, what was that like? Tell us what you can or want to.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
You did.
It was
Finally, the
insane.
attention you deserve around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it felt like, I think it felt like OJ during the chase. That's
Yeah.
what it felt like.
We were OJ.
Yeah, we were OJ and headed home and helicopters and everybody. And then we were on TV 24 hours a day for like 3 days in a row. And I had the realization that had I died, there would be nowhere near this much coverage.
Oh my God.
It felt like you had died. It was wild. We were at work doing our thing, and then midday we learned we are no longer doing our thing.
Well, when you say it felt like I had died, what Molly, I think, is saying is I'm only alive to her as long as I'm on television.
Yes, and then you're dead. Yes.
And then I don't even exist.
Saturday and Sunday don't even see you. Yeah, you're dead. It was a really crazy day, and then we went home. We sat here for a while. We learned the show had been suspended. Moments after we learned, I believe that's when I texted you, Glenn, and was like, "Well, we may have to cancel the podcast tonight." And
I wanted to do it anyway.
you did. Jimmy wanted to get us all in more trouble.
Like, listen, we got business to attend to.
And then we just sat here in
I mean,
this
the name of the
office.
podcast is "We Can Do Hard Things," and we backed out on you. We,
Oh my God.
Because we couldn't.
we can't do hard things.
We can't. We've tried. It's not for us.
If they're even moderately uncomfortable, we won't do them.
It's so true. We canceled on We Can Do Hard Things.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought of
too
it that
hard.
way. It was too hard. So then, hold on, I'm taking us back on track. So then we go home, which felt very strange because it felt weird to leave.
Because we went to the wrong house.
Stop it.
And the people who lived there were disturbed.
Stop it.
And we just sat there in their living room and looked at them, and it was weird. And eventually they got up and left, and we just claimed the home.
Yeah, it's our home now.
And we live there now.
We
Yeah.
can do hard things.
Yeah.
Look at us. Okay, so let's just stay on track for 1 second. We go home. I know you guys will appreciate this as mothers. Like, we go home and our kids are there, and we realize they have no idea what's going on. And we had to do that thing that parents do so well, which is just immediately put on a mask. And we did very well. And asked them, how was soccer today? And what's the funniest thing you heard at school today? And we were just trying to make conversation with our children. But meanwhile, our phones are just bzz, 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 the whole time in our pockets. And there's helicopters over our house and madness outside. And Jimmy said, well, we're going to have to tell them because our daughter's in 5th grade and kids talk. And so we sat them down on the couch and we told them, we said, I believe Jimmy started the conversation. And we realized in that moment that any other time we've sat them down to talk about something, I guess it's been good because Jimmy said, we want to talk to you guys about something. And Jane, our 11-year-old, went, oh my gosh, Julie, they have to talk to us about something. And she's like, get in here, get in here. And I think the last time we had done that, we surprised them with Disneyland or something. So they seemed like it was going to be good. And it occurred to me, oh boy, this is not going to be good. And Jimmy let them know. He said, my show has been suspended. And our daughter immediately burst into tears. Oh. And she said, I'll sell my Labubu's. And we told her, yeah, you should. No, we did not. We told her, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to sell Labubu's. And our son asked if the president had done this. Oh. And we looked at each other, and we didn't quite know how to answer that question.
I think I said yes.
We did. We actually both said yes at the exact same time. We said yes, he did. And it's weird, because you don't want your kids to...
It's certainly not an experience I had with my parents.
No.
In Las Vegas.
Having to sell your Labubus, you mean?
Yeah.
I didn't even have any, We had this dirty Cabbage Patch Kid. That was it. I think it was bought used.
That's so weird, though, because your kids are like, the president is targeting our family.
Yeah, it's funny though because our daughter has this idea that when I retire, she's going to take over the show. We've never said this to her.
No.
We don't know where she got it. She has 3 other siblings. 2 of them are actually adults. And
one of them works here. Yeah,
be more qualified to take over if it was indeed a family business that you could hand down to your kid.
Yeah, it's like she was losing her show.
Yeah, she felt as if she'd been somehow suspended.
Yes.
And I'd ruined it. I'd ruined it for her.
Yeah. She was very disappointed. And then to calm her down, he said, we're okay. We're going to be fine. It's going to be okay. This does not change your life. It doesn't change your friends. Doesn't change the memories you make. We're going to be okay. And we really, Jimmy and I think really both believed that night the show was never coming back. And then
So we were lying.
Yeah. Of course. But it does, yeah.
And then I went over to the pantry and ate everything in it.
That's also true. And I said to Jane, I said, and Billy, I said, I want you guys to know that it's really important you remember this moment, and I want you to remember this, that your dad and his show are on the right side of history. I want you to remember that. And my daughter very earnestly paused, and she said, I thought we were on the left.
They're very literal children.
Very literal children. And I said, well, we can be both. We can be on the right side of history and also on the left. And that was a confusing explanation. Yeah, and then the next several days were truly the wildest of our lives, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was up there.
Yeah, it was up there. It was up and down. It was all over the place. But I think what really got us through were well, people like you who constantly reached out with support and love, and then to watch the support of strangers was the most touching, I think.
And weed also.
A lot
of
of
weed.
Weed do hard things. Yes.
We do hard things.
I don't do weed hard thing.
We do hard things by chewing soft things.
You guys,
Gummy
what were
things.
what were the following days like? And was it as heartwarming to see the entire world? That was amazing. The support. I cried day after day after day, just reading the stories and the support. Did that sink in? It must have been the best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah, it was nice. It was great. It was also so strange that it was hard to even process, I think. It's just weird. The whole thing is weird. Just being on television is weird, and having people you don't know think they know you is weird, and it's all like something that we become accustomed to, but it's not normal, and it doesn't make any sense really. But you understand it because you feel that same way about. I may have felt that same way about David Letterman when I was a kid. But to you know what it is, I tend to focus on the negative. So for me, I felt like we'd lost the brakes on a 16-wheeler and we're headed downhill, and I was just trying to not drive it off the road. So there were a lot of telephone calls, and there was a lot of just kind of strategizing and just general nervousness.
Yeah.
I don't even like being on the phone. That alone was a big negative for me. So, but it was great to get support, but you just didn't know what the next kind of chapter was going to be. So, like looking back, it was like, okay, well, you know what, that worked out okay, and I feel like it was. The most important thing I think is it was like a win for free speech, and I feel like that had been a long time in coming since we'd had a win of any kind, and I think it reminded people that we can win every once in a while, and that it is good to keep fighting. But just personally, it was very confusing. We got a lot of people that we work with, and we wanted to. They have to work, they have to have jobs, and everybody wanted to know what was going on, and they had a right to know what was going on, but there were certain things that we couldn't tell them, and it worked out great in the end. But while it was happening, it's always different when it's happening.
Yeah.
And when it was happening, it was very, very stressful.
Very. I will say it did feel overwhelming to see the outpour of love and support. And I really think that's like when Jimmy said it felt like a 16-wheeler without the brakes. It did feel that way for a long time. And then it suddenly felt like, whoa, we're being lifted on a wave now. And this is kind of out of our control. And I felt good about riding the wave. I felt good about it, the way it was going to land. And I think that's all because of the outpouring of love from people. But it was also a very isolating experience. I mean, I did not speak to a single other human outside of Jimmy for 4 or 5 days. Even my big brother called me, and then I just burst into tears. I was like, I hadn't talked to another person because I was just scared. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I didn't want to mislead anybody. I didn't want to scare people. I didn't know what to say. So I was just talking. We were like in our little foxhole together, which it was a good place to be, but it was definitely isolating. And it felt weird to literally hear from every single person that we knew and have known. I mean, Jimmy was getting texts. I didn't realize how many people you gave your phone number to, by the way. Like every person who's ever driven us to the airport, and like drivers, like a guy in Nashville, like people. I'm like, you gave your phone number to way too many people. But like he was getting texts from. I mean, I had like 1,000 text messages. He had like 10,000. I mean, it was
funny when I get a text from somebody, and then I'd have to go, all right, well, let me read these other texts and see how I know this person. And I'm like, honestly, there were probably a dozen drivers that I've had in various cities that texted
That
me.
is so sweet.
But it's nice, It
is.
was nice.
Can I tell you a little side note about that night? It's a sweet thing that we haven't even talked about. So that night, there was a man sitting in the audience. His name is Moises. And
Oh, yeah, Moises, yeah.
yeah. it stinks he didn't get to see the show. Jimmy connects with everybody everywhere he goes, and we were in Mexico once. And once again, he gave his phone number to the waiter at the restaurant, at this restaurant, right?
He started as the waiter, and then we complimented him to the owner of the hotel. And the next time we came back, he was the manager.
Right.
Moises.
Right. Moises.
Yes.
And then Moises was looking for some help for getting a work visa in the United States.
Right.
And he asked.
I wrote Moises a letter, yeah.
Yes. You wrote a letter on his behalf.
Which now wouldn't necessarily help him.
That's right.
But at the time,
it would not help him at all, actually.
No.
now it would probably rule him out entirely. But at the time, it was
Fewer
helpful
people are
to him.
asking for letters
Yep.
from Jimmy right now for the
Yeah, no,
administration.
that's the one. The silver lining is I don't have to write as many letters.
Definitely not. But as I was running between Jimmy's office, he had just given the news, and I was running to the theater to let our audience department know you need to release the audience, and then we need to let the guests go. I see a familiar face standing there, and it's Moises. And I was like, "What? Hi, what's and I had forgotten. Jimmy told me, he's like, "Oh, he's coming. He wants to thank us for
He
writing
got
the
in,
letter."
and he was
got
coming
into
to
the
the
United
show.
States, and he was coming to the show that night. And then
Wow.
he couldn't, of course, he couldn't come to our show, right? But there's just a lot of moments like that were,
A lot of Moises moments.
but a lot of moments where you've given your phone number to way too many people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I just think it's actually so important to note that we didn't know at the time like what was going to happen. You were probably planning the potential of needing to sue everybody. And I just like want to say that like even like the representation, like the symbol of what you and Molly and the entire crew of yours is for the world, I can imagine how stressful that must have been, wondering, well, what if they don't let my show back on the air? What are the repercussions? And like, I just want to say and like hold space, because we live in California and that's what we say in California, for you and Molly for like carrying the possibility of needing to stand up and speak the truth that needs to be spoken. Like, granted, it like worked itself out without needing to go nuclear.
How do you guys handle things differently? Like, how do your nervous systems? I need you to understand. If there's like 8 comments that are mad at me, I can't fucking sleep for a night. Like, how? Do you have amazing therapists? Is it weed? Like, how do you?
No.
You've been doing this. Like, what everyone needs to know is also you guys have been. This did not just start that day. You all have been a symbol for MAGA to go after. You have been some of the only people who are holding the line for sanity and truth publicly for a long time. So what is that like on a daily basis, and how do you handle it differently?
Well, we do handle it very differently.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, when a police officer has seen a lot of dead bodies and eventually he becomes desensitized to it. So I'm not quite as, I get a lot of negativity thrown my way, and I try not to, unless it's somebody I respect, I don't sweat it. I don't let it get to me. I don't love it, but I just brush it aside, and I don't seek it out, certainly. Not being on Twitter has been a big help, because I find that that the people on Instagram and YouTube are a much kinder bunch in general. So being off Twitter has been very helpful, but I just take a very practical approach to situations like this. I'm like, all right, what do we have to do? Who do I have to talk to? What do I have to check in with? And how are we going to handle this? I think Molly's more emotional. Would you say that's fair?
yeah, definitely. I'm more emotional. I'm definitely more.
She gets madder.
I get really mad. I get emotional. I get easily rattled. But I will say this experience, I don't want to compare the two. It feels weird too. They're not the same. But similar to our son having an open heart surgery when he was 3 days old, it was like we're in it together, which just brought an immediate calm for me. That we had each other, and we were going to get through it together, differently, but together. And there's something about that just made me feel really calm, like being in the trenches with you.
That was much worse.
What?
that one.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, of course. Of course. I'm not, I don't mean to be comparing the two,
Yeah.
tragic events, but they each had the same comfort for me in partnership. And that helped get me through. But I'm definitely more emotional. I get my feelings hurt much easier. I get angry. But I've gotten thicker skin each time, which almost makes me sad. Like I don't want to be desensitized by these things, but you kind of have to survive. Yes.
Amanda, can you tell them what you were telling me about all the comedians in all the countries, that smart stuff you were saying before?
I'm just so interested in how power consolidators who want to go after free speech always start with the comedians. In 1939, the Nazis kicked out just expelled them, the 5 most popular comedians at the time. Putin incarcerated the most popular comedians and gave the network over to a pro-Putin oligarch. Hoover's FBI forced Charlie Chaplin in exile. And it's just like kind of a go-to move. And so I've just been so curious what your take is on what is so powerful about comedy that power comes to it first and for it first.
Well, I think nobody likes to be laughed at, and I think that being laughed at, it's the hardest thing for people like Donald Trump to deal with, because it shows that you're not taking them seriously. You're pushing their buttons, and you're not scared of them, even if you are scared of them a little bit. But I think that it's also, I think, a big mistake. I think for a dictator, not that I want to give him any tips, people really, if there's one thing we understand on both sides, if you want to put it that way, in this country, it's that, I think Donald Trump got elected in large part because people felt that comedians were being pressured and censored, and it was kind of like, hey, I think this is funny, and you're making me feel like a jerk, and you're saying that this comedian that I like can't say this, that makes me laugh. And it really hits home with people in a deeply personal way, and I think in a historical way as well. We all grew up hearing these stories about Lenny Bruce and Richard Pryor and George Carlin and Howard Stern more recently, where the government got involved in their comedy, and just nobody likes that. It doesn't matter which side you're on. Nobody likes that. And I'd always wondered, because I anticipated that this day would come. And I always wondered and hoped that my colleagues on the right would defend the principle. If not, some people like me, some people don't, whatever. But I think that being a comedian, there's a bond there for sure. And it may even be a stronger bond than being an American in a lot of ways, because you do understand each other. You know how hard it is to walk out on a stage by yourself and make people laugh, and no matter what you're doing, it's hard. Even if you're doing it in the cheapest possible way, it's not easy. And if it was, you'd see a lot more comedians than there are. So I was heartened to get support from people that I don't usually get support from, and I always felt that if the situation was reversed, I would feel the same way. And I think a lot of false comparisons have been made to other situations, other comedians, high-profile comedians who've been canceled, if you want to use that word, whether it's a literal or figurative word, but it's not the same thing. It's in no way the same thing as the head of the FCC threatening the broadcasters who put your show on the air, threaten them and suggest that they might pull their licenses in a very overt way, in the stupidest possible way, on television, on camera for all to see. It's just, it's remarkable that this person even still has his job. It's just crazy to me. When you have Ted Cruz on your side, they've screwed up.
Did any part of you, and I understand you have the whole crew and it's beyond yourselves and your sense of responsibility, but when they came back and wanted you to come back, did any part of you want to tell them to pound sand? Like a little part of you?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, if I'd not been allowed back on the air, I'd be a martyr. It's not a terrible position to be in as a comedian. It's not the position I wanted to be in, and it's also not the way I wanted the show. I've been doing this show for almost 23 years. It'll be 23 years in January, and I want to end the show on my terms. I want to end it in a graceful way. I want to have a farewell party with our staff. I want to, do all those things that, I want to say the things that I want to say to people, and to just have it happen abruptly and unjustly would have been awful. It's just not how you want it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting wave. I think we both felt was mourning right after, because we felt like we weren't coming back and we didn't have a shot to write our ending the way we wanted to.
Yeah, and to say goodbye, really.
Yeah, and we left her. We didn't know if we were going to see people again. It was a very strange feeling.
And the audience too, not just our staff, but also the people who watch the show. You don't. It's just one day you're on and the next day you're not, and that's not what I imagined or wanted. So I was hoping that we would come back, and I think that was probably the intention the whole time. We weren't fired. We were suspended, and I think suspended means come back, but it just didn't feel like that to me at the time.
But I will say also, I really love getting under his skin.
Yeah.
Mine?
No.
Trump's, yeah.
I know you agree in that, taking a little bit of pleasure in it. When we see that it's bothering him, it brings us a little bit of joy, because it feels like we're one of the only ones who are getting in there, and he hates it so much that he has to respond. And I love that.
It's so childish to respond.
Childish.
It's just complain privately. It's so we don't need to know every thought you have about us. And it's kind of wonderful that he shares that. I mean, it's dangerous for us, but it also, to me, means we're doing the job well. And
yeah, it's almost romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really into you.
Yeah, totally.
And now it's time to thank the companies who allow you to listen to We Can Do Hard Things for free.
Here's something I've learned about love. It's not always about the grand gestures. Most of the time, it's the small, thoughtful moments that hold everything together. That's why I love Zelle. It makes it so easy to show up for people in those small but super meaningful ways. One of my way back friends recently was having just the worst day at work. She reached out to me when she was at boiling point. We shared texts back and forth, with her venting and me raging on her behalf, and also sending her puppy photos, the things that friends do for each other. After we got off, I was thinking about how she was getting ready to take her long train ride back home, which I knew she hated even on regular days and would super hate after such a terrible day. Then I realized I could send her a little money via Zelle for a car ride home instead. It was a tiny spur of the moment decision, but was so easy to do because of Zelle, to give her a reason to do something kind for herself. That's what I love about Zelle. Whether it's a birthday gift across the country, chipping in for a group surprise, or simply saying, I'm here on a hard day, Zelle is there when you need to send or receive money, so you can be there when it counts. When it counts, send money with Zelle.
Okay, let's talk about the performance jogger, because I am officially in a committed relationship with mine. I have them on right now. I put them on just to be comfy around the house, and then, somehow they end up coming with me everywhere, on walks, to school drop-offs, errands, and even occasionally, actually almost all the time, flights. They're just that good. And here's why. they're ridiculously soft. So, like, they're buttery soft, like cloud soft, but they also look put together enough that I don't feel like I'm wearing pajamas in public. They move with you and they hold their shape, and just they wash beautifully. They're just as soft every single time they come out. I think what I love most is how they make me feel. There is something about being comfortable in your clothes, and that's just letting you show up better. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/hardthings. That's VUORI.com/hardthings. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions, and not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/hardthings and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
Molly, what is it? This is random, but I think about it all the time with you guys. Like, you come from a pretty conservative family.
Yes.
Right? I
Yes.
just like
Not me, but Mom.
no, not you.
Yeah.
And
No.
I just wonder, like, what is Thanksgiving? It's one thing to come from a conservative family and just sort of, deprogram yourself and go along your life. but what is it like to come from a conservative family and then become like the Mockingjay of the other side?
Well, it's definitely been challenging. Thankfully, my immediate family, they did not vote for Donald Trump.
Okay.
They did the first time, a few of them. We flipped them the second time. It's weird. When Donald Trump was first elected, I was so upset. We all were. But I remember thinking, I understand it, because I grew up in a very conservative Republican house. I mean, I bought my dad a Rush Limbaugh tie in high school. I voted Republican straight ticket, and that's what I was told to do. And then I left St. Louis, Missouri, and I met people from different backgrounds, and I started to understand different things and different needs and different people. And there's like a little bit of sympathy I have for people in my family that I feel are kind of being deliberately misinformed every day. And
Not kind of.
yeah. They're deliberately being misinformed every day, and they believe it. But it hurts me so much because of the personal relationship I now have, where my husband is out there fighting this man. And to me, them voting for Trump is them not voting for my husband and me and our family. And I unfortunately have kind of lost relationships with people in my family because of it. It's like this is not just Republican versus Democrat for me anymore. It is, to me, it's family values, and it's really hard for me because I grew up believing in these Christian ideals of taking care of the sick and taking care of the poor, and I don't see that happening with this Republican Party. And so I feel like I'm kind of in constant conflict, and I'm angry all the time, which isn't healthy at all. But I personalize everything now. When I see these terrible stories every day, I'm immediately mad at certain aunts, uncles, cousins who put him in power. And it's really hard. And I wish I could deprogram myself in some way, but I get really angry. And I've sent many emails to family right before the election saying, I'm begging you, here's the 10 reasons not to vote for this guy. Please don't. And I either got ignored by 90% of them or got truly insane responses from a few. It's definitely caused a strain. I've definitely pulled in closer with the family that I feel more aligned with. And I hate that this has happened, It feels silly. Part of me goes, don't let politics get in the way. But to me, this isn't politics. It's truly values, and we're not aligned anymore.
That's so honest, and I feel like no one has ever said, at least to me directly, the thing because that happens to me too. When a headline comes about a certain thing, I get mad at personal people too. I think
Really?
Yes. Like if there's an anti-queer thing that comes out, it's like our brains have to focus on people because otherwise it's just this big boogeyman thing. And so my mind will go to the 4 people I know who don't support I get that.
Yeah, I do it. I visualize 7 people that I grew up with loving, like sisters, and I'm immediately mad at them, and it makes me sad.
I have a different way of looking at it.
I know. Here you guys, just so you know, he's gonna steady this. He's gonna like make me feel kind of bad about it. He's gonna be right.
No, I'm not
just
gonna
so
make
we
you
know.
mad.
He's gonna be right, but I'm not gonna want to hear it. But go ahead.
I just think they're being fed a constant stream of lies. And I think that we live in a country where we were programmed to believe the middle-aged white guy on television telling us the news. And fortunately for us, for most of our lives, we had good people in those positions. You know, your Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather and Ted Koppel and Peter Jennings and Tom Brokaw, who you could genuinely trust and who seem to be like educated and honest people. And now there's this cosplay version of it that we see now on Fox News and all these other wannabe Fox News channels that are telling lies for profit. They know what pushes people's buttons. It used to be AM talk radio, and now it's television, and it looks like the news, and they call it the news, and it's not the news. It's not fair. It's not balanced, and these people are ingesting it. And when you ingest enough of it, you start to believe it, and you know maybe they touch upon some of your biases, and they push certain buttons in you, things that you believe to be true, and before you know it, you believe everything that you're hearing. And I don't know that, I just feel like if those outlets didn't exist, we wouldn't have this. I think people would evaluate things based on facts, but it's just...
They have Cousin Molly's Instagram, and I give them facts every day, and they just seem to be ignoring them, and that's what bothers me. Okay? So they can watch Fox News all day, but the hard part for me, it's a strange position to be in, is like you personally know 2 humans in your life you're related to. Our jobs here, we don't tell lies. We tell jokes, but we are literally scouring the news every day, presenting people the facts, followed by jokes. And if you can't, to me, I go, why are you trusting that guy over me? This is Cousin Molly here, guys. Like, I wouldn't lie to you. He's not a good person.
Think the same thing that we think. It's like, oh, she's in Hollywood. She's hearing all this stuff. She means well, but she's not, she's not right. She's wrong. And she's one of these Hollywood liberals.
Yeah, for sure. I had an aunt when I moved to LA who gave me a Bible, and on the inside said, "Don't stay in LA long. That's where the devil lives." So that's what I'm dealing with.
Oh,
There it is.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
And now I'm sitting on a couch with them.
Do you guys, when you have conversations about this, because I'm sure it's endless, where's the hope? Do you see how does this end? Where does this go? What's the hope here?
I think that these ideas, listen, this is all a con. The whole thing is a con. I mean, you turn on TV and you see the president selling watches. He's selling cheap watches that don't seem to actually be made in the USA. And you have to, at some point, when that watch arrives and it's a piece of junk, and when he tells you he's going to lower all the prices and only he can solve this problem and that problem and how much better your life is going to be, I think that at a certain point you look around. I feel like it has arrived, because his approval ratings are very historically low. No matter what he said, people are starting to realize, like, oh, I think I might have been conned here. I think like these things that I was told were gonna happen aren't happening. I mean, we just saw it with the soybean farmers. It's like suddenly China's not buying any soybeans from them. They're like, hey, what the heck? We voted for you, and now we're not selling any soybeans. And he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna fix this. And he makes a deal, and they're now back to selling the same amount of soybeans, which wasn't enough to start with. And I think that people are, as confused as they may be, as bamboozled as they may be, ultimately they have to go to the supermarket and buy eggs. And I think that, the lies only go so far.
I don't hear a lot of hope there.
Well, the hope. Well, sadly, the hope is that it's like a drug addict. We're going to have to hit rock bottom.
I felt like we already did. I feel like every time we hit rock bottom, it's like, oh, there's more bottom. Oh, wow,
Yeah, it's
there's
like we're
another
falling
floor.
down the
Holy
stairs.
yeah, like, and then they're like, oh, there's an escalator down. Oh, and now we're on an elevator down.
But there's got to be a bottom eventually, right?
Yeah, I guess. I feel like we keep hitting it. But I will say this experience of this show being suspended and then put back on gave me extreme hope for the first time in a long time.
Same.
And it really felt good. And I feel like I felt united with people. And I felt like, okay, we're getting back to the basic rights that let's start here and then let's keep cracking.
I love the protests. You know what I like most of all? I like the just sporadic protests, like we're just driving home on Sunday and there are 40 people with signs standing on the street corner. It's like, oh, this isn't even the No Kings March. These people were just mad and decided to go out on the street today in LA, where almost everyone agrees with them in the first place.
Yeah.
I just think that like that kind of action is really indicative that that people are ready to. We anesthetize ourselves with all the things that we have to look at, and sometimes like you feel like hitting the like button that's your political activity for the day. But when people go like, hey, I'm going to make a sign and go out in front of my supermarket and march, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Did you see the pictures from No Kings were amazing. Of course, there wasn't as much coverage as there should have been. Just millions and millions and millions of people everywhere. But the one that made me so emotional, did you guys see the one woman, I think in South Carolina, in this very small town? She was by herself.
Yes.
She did her own No Kings protest, had an anti-fascism poster, and she was like heckled all day, and she just stood there by herself with her little sign. It makes me emotional every time I think about it.
I love that. It was a very powerful image.
I didn't see that, but I love that idea.
So beautiful.
People like that give us hope, right?
I love meeting a really old person who's very mad. I love that.
I like meeting a young person who's really mad.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's also really good.
Those things are real good. The middle-aged mad, I'm like, whoa.
Get rid of them. But God, old mad
muley.
people and young mad people. You're right. That's so inspiring. Both of those.
I think it's going to take, I think why it was so hopeful is exactly what you said, Jimmy. It's like the people over here who will disagree with you 99 times out of 10, and the people over here who love you were both like, this is fucked up. Like I feel like there's whatever, that comedy thread of we have principles that go deeper than opinions and we have values that go deeper than opinions. It's like if we could reestablish that for American values, for family values, for like, no, this is deeper than opinions. This is like, where is the thing that we can hold on to? And that's why it was so hopeful, because it was like, maybe I don't like that guy, but I will stand up and say that this is horseshit and he should be allowed to say what he wants. It's that piece that we're missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we touched the third rail finally.
Yes.
That's what's frustrating for me too, is because when I think about my family members who voted for Trump, I know for a fact that we agree on 80% of the issues. I know that. I know that they think women should have reproductive freedom. And I know that they think that we shouldn't have access to AR-15s. I know they agree with me, but then they don't vote in the same way because they've been told that we are voting for this party is something that it's not. And we've been perhaps told voting for that party is something that it's not. But I feel like we're not actually like... Our vote is not matching what we really want for this country. I firmly believe that. Like you look at like 80% of the country wants the same stuff when it comes to universal health care, gun safety, and reproductive freedom. But yet we're electing people who aren't representing our voice.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's because these corporations there's no limit to how much money they can pump into a candidate. And you see all these guys, all these cowards, these CEOs, these famous people who are all over Biden, and then as soon as Biden wasn't president anymore, they're all over Trump, and they'll be back to the other side when the other side is in charge. And it's a ruse to make as much money as they possibly can. And eventually, I think that's going to come back to bite them in the ass also. I just don't think people are thinking in the long term, and that the greater good is more important than individual good for the individual.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We look at what we do to the climate is like, it's like, hey, I can make I can make a little bit more money if I burn as much fossil fuel as I possibly can. It's like, oh, that's great. It's going to be really hot, and you're not going to have water. Like,
Trick or treating in a bikini.
Yeah, your grandchildren are going to be living in a hellscape because you made a little bit more money this year. And I just don't. I think that we're as a society going to look back at this time, and we're going to be really angry at the people that made those decisions. All of us, not just the left. All of us are going to look back and go, "What the hell did these people do to us?"
Yeah.
Things were going pretty good on this planet, and now look at where we are.
Yeah.
It's really, it's hard not to feel defeated. It really is.
And now it's time to thank the companies who allow you to listen to We Can Do Hard Things for free.
You know that moment when you look in the mirror and think, what even is my hair doing today? Some days waves, some days curls, some days just chaos. But Curlsmith is here to help y'all. They are the professional curl whisperers. If you have curly hair and you've been using products for the straights, cut that out right now. You're not reaching your fabulous curl potential, okay? And Curlsmith gives you everything you need for a brand new curl forward hair routine. You take their quiz, they weigh in all the sorts of factors, and then you leave with a personalized game plan. For me, the highlights have been their weightless air dry cream. That stuff is really good. I also love their 2-in-1 curl quenching moisture wash and their double cream deep quencher. And you're going to need to add those to your carts right now. And if you're ready to embrace your natural curls, it's time to join the Curlsmith community. At Curlsmith, we're celebrating curls, and we know it's a curls world. Find your curl confidence and take the curl quiz at curlsmith.com to get 10% off your first purchase, or shop Curlsmith now at Ulta Beauty.
I have to imagine that you do this because Abby and I do this nightly, and I just think, do you guys dream of a life, like, of setting off into the sun? Like, we dream every night of, like, we're going to buy a farm or a ranch, and we're going to be a million miles away from everyone.
Tell them what you're going to call your ranch.
The homestead.
Love it.
Obviously, we don't know how to, like, do animals or flowers or whatever people
can
do
learn.
on farms. But the point is,
Or flowers, crops.
vegetables.
Yeah, a lot of heavy-duty ranchers out there with their
Flowers.
They're peonies.
My point is, what's your fantasy for getting the fuck out of the situation you're in now?
I'm not for getting the fuck out. I'm for fighting. Yeah. I just don't think that way. I put up a flag on the 4th of July at my house,
He also wears Crocs that have American flags and a tank top with an American flag. And
I'm not giving that up. That's not theirs. It's all of ours.
yeah, he is not a runner at all.
Yeah, it was funny because I got Italian citizenship, and of course, the narrative in the news was that I was fleeing the country. And, of course, everybody had a thought and opinion on that, and none of it was true. 'Cause my mom got Italian citizenship, and then as a result, her children and grandchildren got Italian citizenship. And, but, the narrative is like, oh, these liberals fleeing the country, whatever. I will never flee the country. That's, that's the very last thing that I will do. I'm not interested in giving up.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a fantasy of not ingesting such toxic information all day, every day.
You guys know how hard it is to run a farm and a ranch, though. I mean, it seems like it seems like a vacation, and anyone who actually has a ranch or a farm would be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, I watched Yellowstone and then I changed my mind. It's sort of violent.
Those people are very good looking, though.
They
so
were.
I'd like to visit.
Yeah, you
they
have
were.
to know how to fix barbed wire
I
to
know,
run
I
a
did
ranch.
notice
or a
No
that.
farm.
thanks. No thanks.
It wasn't a perfect plan, Jimmy.
I prefer a lake.
No.
A lake, the
That's what
lake's
I
the way to
prefer.
go.
Okay. A
A
lake
ranch
house.
of still water.
I think that's nice. Start at a lake house.
I love that, Jimmy, because I think that is like you can get it's so depressing. And then when I think about how depressing the vast majority of American history has been, it's uplifting because it's like, look, this has always been a shit show. It just depends where you were sitting. And if the people the people on the Trail of Tears, guess what? They're still here. They are still here. They are still fighting. They are still doing their part. The people who are at the lunch counters and who fought in the Union Army for their rights and then were disenfranchised right after, that sucked. And they're still here and they're still fighting. They're just Americans. And it just feels like it's our turn. This is our turn. This is
I
what
hate
we do.
that. No,
You show up
I
and you
hate
do
it.
your part.
I'm too weak. And you know what? I'm mad. I get mad because I go, this is why. Because this is optional. All of this
Yeah.
is like optional. And it doesn't have to be like this.
That's what really bothers me.
Yeah,
too,
and
is
every
we're-
time,
we're
like-
inflicting harm on ourselves.
It doesn't have
we
to
have
be like
enough
this.
problems
Right.
that we need to solve without this.
Like let's solve pediatric cancer. Let's figure out the climate. We're fighting over whether women can have rights. Like, what are we doing? Like, that should be a given. Like,
Remember when we were mad about those Lime scooters?
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's just funny to think about some of the things that we thought, like, people taking selfies was like, these goddamn selfies.
Yeah.
You know? Like 10 years ago, our problems were, I guess it's important to remember that and to appreciate how silly we can get worked up about anything, I guess.
Yeah.
But now we have to get worked up about things that are.
real things, but also they don't have to be there. Like, every time I go to a fundraiser, and we do a lot of fundraising and donating to candidates and causes, I go, of course I'm going to give this, but I'd rather be giving it to Children's Hospital right now, like, why? And I'm giving money so I can make sure this woman who should definitely be elected gets elected. Like, what are we? Of course this woman should win. Why are we voting for this clown? And I get resentful of the amount of energy we all have to push forward so we don't keep falling back. Or I'm like, can we just keep going this way? And we just keep getting yanked back. And I get really resentful of people in my life that I feel like put us there. And that's where I need to work on my anger.
Molly, I hope you don't work on it too much because I just feel like as much as Jimmy's steadiness is comforting and helpful, your Molly Mad Molly is
Mad Molly.
equally comforting.
Okay, good.
And
well, I'm
helpful.
here for you. Anytime you need Mad Molly, you
You
just
got
give me a
Mad
call.
Molly and Jimmy the sarcastic asshole.
Exactly. And you guys, thanks
Jimmy the
for
steady.
I don't know why we were talking about this. Why did you, when you guys were neighbors, and when you moved here, you DM'd us.
Right?
You
First of all, hold on one sec. Let's just go back. Before the DM happened, I had a full freak out seeing both of you guys outside.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh yes, this was quite an
really embarrassing. Now, I want to remind you that I've worked at this show for 23 years, and I've I think met every possible celebrity and political figure. Unfazed. I am on a walk. I see you two, and I just became undone. I didn't know what to do. I went, oh, hi, Glennon, Abby, hi. And then I did a thing that I never do, which I identified myself as Jimmy's wife, which was so gross.
I prefer it.
I said, hi, I'm Molly. And then you're like, who the hell's Molly? And I'm Jimmy Kimmel's wife. And I wanted to die. And then I said, I can see your house from my house. Whoa. And then I was like, whoa, stop talking. And then I came running home to you. And I said, Oh my God. I just saw
I made an idiot out of myself.
Glenn and Abby. I made an idiot of myself. You have to fix this. DM them on Twitter or whatever it was. Like I was like, you have to fix this. And so he reached out to you. I made him reach out to you guys. I'm like, I've ruined it. I said I could see their house. I was like, I was a disaster.
How scary is that?
Yeah.
I can see right in your window.
Yeah, totally. How was that bagel this morning? Yeah, and
I never
he
believed
DM'd
that
you.
Jimmy DM'd us out of like just wanting to get to know us. I just didn't believe that.
No, steady Jimmy was like, I'll fix this. And so he DM'd you guys, and you were so nice. So now take it from there. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I needed to give you the backstory in the DM.
No, I'm
messed it
so
up.
glad. Okay, so that makes sense. So then Jimmy DM'd us, and he said, and I hope I'm getting this right, but he said,
You are.
right? He said, hey, it's Jimmy Kimmel.
We could look it up for sure.
For sure we could. It's Jimmy Kimmel. We're your new neighbors. So we can find you. Can you hang a purple sheet outside of your door? Which was fucking weird, but we had just moved to LA. Everything was weird. Okay, I had people sending me their dietary restrictions, coming to my house. I wasn't even going to feed them. I had people, like, just things were happening that were weird. So I just thought,
This is why the crowd back in St. Louis won't vote for.
exactly.
Right. Totally.
This is
Dietary
exactly what they
restrictions.
expect.
Totally.
The devil lives there, so you have to put out a purple sheet.
Right.
Yeah. It's devil. That'll keep
Yes,
him
Jimmy,
away.
you need to explain yourself.
I was just joking. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know I was joking. And also, our view of your house is not of your front door; it's from the back of your house. So when you then did indeed hang out, which I didn't know until you told me, we didn't even see it, and it must have made it even more confusing.
How weird for them.
I will also add, while we're embarrassing Molly, that
Oh, no.
I have suggested that we invite you over for dinner about 40 times, and each time she's not ready for it. And then finally on the 4th of July, I think I caught her at a weak moment.
Yeah,
and,
it's for America.
Yeah, it was like each time it was like like the house wasn't clean enough, or there was some reason why it couldn't happen. Yeah.
He's right. I never want to, you know what it is? I never want to put people out. I know how busy you guys are, and I can only imagine the amount of invitations and stuff you get. And I also hear, Glennon, you talk a lot sometimes about you don't like to do stuff. And I was like, I don't ever want to make them feel like they have to do something to be our friends. So I try to keep the asks at a minimum.
Yeah, it's not really an ask; it's an invitation.
Yeah, that's different. That's not an ask. Like an ask is like, hey, I have this thing. A buddy of mine, he wants it signed. Like that's an ask, which by the way, we'll never do.
Molly, I understand so
But
much.
like,
I always
come over for dinner is different.
No, I get it. I feel so stressed to invite people over. I always feel like I should treat people how I want to be treated, so I should just never talk to them. I should just, the more I like them, the more I should definitely not ever contact them.
It sounds like just Abby and I should have dinner.
Yeah.
Probably.
We'll leave it at that.
Probably.
Well, you two can cook, too, so you guys can have a nice meal.
Well, we did go to your house on the 4th of July, and it was just, you guys surround yourself with so many wonderful, beautiful people. Like, you have a real, I mean, if you guys, I'm trying to explain this to the Pod Squad, there were like 75 people there, all who knew Jimmy and Molly for decades. They were all like family or friends forever. Jimmy was like cooking 7 trillion chickens
Meats.
by himself, like just doing it. And there was food everywhere and kids everywhere and love everywhere.
There was a famous chef also that came and was cutting up meat, and I was like, must be kind of intense and intimidating cooking for one of the most famous chefs in the world. Jimmy just does it, and he's fine, and it was delicious.
Yeah, you were so.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You have no idea. That's the only thing he heard this entire podcast. I'm not kidding.
Delicious.
He will go home and he'll be like, did you hear Abby say
I'm very
my food
critical
was
of my
delicious?"
cooking. Those chickens came out pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they were delicious.
sure as hell did.
I had every single piece of meat you cooked.
I made
ate
ribs as well, I think.
That
and,
makes me so happy.
every single thing.
Jimmy is an incredible host.
Wow.
He really is.
The 4th of July is my favorite holiday, too, so I like to really go big on the 4th of July.
Yeah, and including the attire.
Yes,
the
and the
attire's
attire.
great.
He loves a tank top.
Who doesn't love a tank
I
top?
don't love tank tops. I just like wearing them because they drive you crazy.
Yeah, an American flag
Yeah.
tank top. So hot.
That's what she thought she was getting with this deal.
Yeah.
I have another thing that I'm obsessed with y'all on is the pranks. And I'm just wondering, my personal obsession was the one where you had the guy that worked with you and you got his Ring camera so you knew what he was wearing every day. And then you got the other guy to. Okay, can you either tell that story or tell us what your most recent prank is? Because this is a new thing I want to bring into my life to
Well,
have more fun. is
I
to
have a
prank people.
continuation of that prank, which now, unfortunately, is a guy named Danny we work with, and he knows about the prank. But it turns out that, like, I've taken a page from Donald Trump. Like, this prank where what we've done is there's a guy named Danny and a guy named Josh. And Danny told Josh that he needs to dress better for work. So what I did is I got an exhaustive list of all of Danny's clothes, photographed all of it, and then ordered duplicates of everything. And then Josh would come into work. He'd check Danny's Ring camera, and he'd come into work dressed just like Danny. And it started. Danny's like, what's going on? He knew something was wrong. Almost immediately, he knew something was wrong, but we just kept doing it and acting like it was nothing.
It was making him crazy.
It was making him absolutely crazy. So what's happening now, just so you know, we're taping this the night before Halloween, right?
Yes.
Okay. So on Halloween tomorrow, we have colluded to find out what Danny's Halloween costume is. Josh has purchased the same Halloween costume and went over to his house to take a picture with Danny's children.
No.
So Josh is then going to post that on Instagram and let Danny find it.
Oh,
and
that's
Danny's going
wonderful.
to lose his mind.
This is what Jimmy does with his very, 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 very little
You
free
have
time.
to make time for things like
You
this.
Yeah.
You
really do. This is how we make it through. Somehow this
Yeah.
is how we make it through. This
you're
kind
right.
of absurdity.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me so happy. It really does. No matter what's going on, no matter how bad it is, it just when there's something like this happening, and when somebody's mad, I'm happy.
Jimmy got a personalized. Okay, I wanted to get the black license plate. You know, in Los Angeles, I had a black car. It just looks better than the white one. Then I
The
didn't know
old
you
California style.
could. Yeah, and I really wanted, and I just don't have. I don't know how. I was like, Jimmy. He's like, I'll take care of that for you. I'm like, great, thank you so much. I'll order you a plate. Great. And then several months later,
my
I was like,
God.
where is this plate? It's not coming. It's not coming. It's not coming.
It took a long time.
Took a long time. And months later, I walk out to my car one night, and his shoulders are just like doing this gentle wiggle. I'm like, oh, no, what's going on? And I look, and my license plate is now a personalized plate screwed on that says, "We be jammin'." I was so mad, but also so proud of him at the same time. And also just like the headache of how do I get rid of this? I don't know any idea how to get rid of this. And I said, this is for real? He's like, yeah, it's for real. It's real. I'm like, this is my license plate. This is my official license
You'll
plate.
never
Yes,
forget
I
it.
dropped the kids off at school with a We Be Jammin' license plate. So mad.
It has a history because every once in a while I would get on Molly's phone and comment on all her friends' posts. I'd write hashtag
We
We
Be
Be
Jammin',
Jammin'.
just out of nowhere.
And then they started to learn.
People would like have like posts about like I lost my grandmother
No,
10
I
years
never
ago
did that.
today, and he'd be like hashtag We Be Jammin'.
That's not true.
You did on
made
some.
that up.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Well, if I did do it, it was an accident. I was cutting and pasting.
Yeah, now people knew. They're like, anytime you see We Be Jammin', you know Jimmy has gotten on my phone
Yeah, I
or on
like.
my car. We don't even know where that came from.
I do. It came from the song. We Be Jammin'.
Yeah.
We be
Yeah.
jamming.
Dun, dun,
I
dun,
hope you
dun,
like
dun,
jamming.
We Be Jammin'. It was from, that,
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know the
We Be
song.
Jammin'.
We Be Jammin'.
like,
jammin'.
got it.
Bum,
Got
bum,
it.
bum, bum. Yeah, got it. Forever.
You guys,
Oh, God.
we love you so much. We want you now to go back to your kids, to your life. Thank you so much for
See, that's her way of saying, don't call us.
No.
She's
And
like,
then-
we
Yeah,
love
yeah.
you.
Can you
We love you.
please
Now go
invite
back
us
to your
Back to
life.
your homes.
No, I want you to invite us over. Can you please invite
When
us
you
over
see
for
us-
dinner?
We will. We
When
will.
you see us go the other way, you've now bullied us into dinner.
By the way, the last time we invited you over, the only time, which was 4th of July, Glennon made cookies, brought them, and then brought them home. Right? Is that correct?
Yes, but there's a story behind that.
You guys, I'm so embarrassed. We went over this. No, because I was so embarrassed of them. I hid them. I brought them to their house because I felt like you are a grown-up, Glennon, and grown-ups bring things to other grown-ups' houses. So I said to my daughter, "Can you please help me? I've never baked cookies before. Can you
They're
help
gonna be
me?
great on the farm.
Can you help me?" And then she abandoned me that day. So I had to try to make them myself. And they were disgusting and black on the bottom and so burnt. But I still brought them and then I hid them
Well,
at the party.
because
I hid them. Why?
like when you walk in, there's just like food.
It was so
and it's
beautiful.
gorgeous. And it's all beautifully like curated and looking, and
And
it
I
looks
had like a kid's
edible.
plate. It was a kid's plate with like aluminum foil over it.
Whatever happened to a bottle of wine? That's what adults do.
We brought
Glennon,
that too.
You were thinking of an elementary school
We brought
party.
wine also. She just wanted to do something with like a personal touch.
Well, you guys,
yeah.
Molly and
It was
Jimmy,
a personal touch.
It was better than when my first neighborhood potluck, when they sent out a fucking thing where you're supposed to sign up for something, and it said some people should bring dessert and some people should bring a dish, and so I just brought a dish.
Wow. That's very literal. Very.
You know what? Give people some more information. If you want a dish with stuff on it, say that.
Who did you hand it to?
The person who was having it, and it just,
What was the reaction?
it wasn't
Great.
great, Jimmy.
I'll tell you what, it was better than her other thing once she learned to make cucumber rolls.
Asparagus rolls.
Asparagus rolls. But then she brought asparagus rolls to every single thing for 5 years. We had to
your
do a
thing.
family intervention and be like, no more asparagus rolls.
That's funny.
Been a hard time.
It's a good title for a book. No more asparagus.
When we were
rolls.
leaving your guys' July 4th party, she looks at me and she goes, "I gotta take these. I can't leave these here. I can't leave these here for somebody to eat and be like, oh, what are those?" And so I took a video because I was like, this is ridiculous. And I took a video of Glennon taking them with her.
I think your mom was there, Jimmy, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I just trust you. I'm just gonna tell you."
Oh, that's great. His
My
mom's-
mother's a cookie lunatic.
She
also.
is an incredible baker, so that's even funnier that she
God.
watched
Anyway,
you.
we'll do better
Took
next
her
time.
cookies up. She's like,
Yeah.
if they wanted me to leave the cookies, they should have been more generous.
I say play to your strengths. Don't bake if you can't. You know,
You know
just
what
bring
we
your
love is
personality.
Asparagus rolls. I've heard.
Yeah, we do.
She would roll out that white bread,
Okay,
cut off the
shut up.
crust, put some asparagus in there, roll those bad boys up.
I took a class to learn that. Okay. I did. I took a night class to learn that.
No,
Really?
that's not true. That can't be true.
Amanda, your mom and my mom took a class
Our
to
mom.
learn how to make something to bring to a party, and we learned asparagus rolls. That's why I did that
Wow.
for 10 years.
Oh, that's
They
great.
should have.
Got your money's worth out of that
Okay.
class.
Anyway,
I don't think so.
love to you both. We
Love
will
to
see you
you
next
three.
time. I promise not to bring anything. Thank you.
Don't.
Thank you for getting us through. Your family is so beautiful and so brave, and we're grateful for you every day.
Well, thank you guys for your beautiful
Thank you.
words and your kindness. We're delighted to be your neighbors.
Yes, put that purple sheet up. We love you.
All right. Bye, Pod Squad.
We Can Do Hard Things is an independent production podcast brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. And you can follow us at We Can Do Hard Things on Instagram and at We Can Do Hard Things Show on TikTok.